Hi all, this is part 2 of lecture 18. So we were going through the algebra problems and we are on to example 3. So there were twice as many pink chips as white chips and 1/3 as many white chips as black chips. So when I approach these with algebra, I approach it the same way that we did with boxes. So I'm going to start by finding my first ratio, and that's the word twice. So twice is 2 to 1, and this is pink to white. Only instead of writing pink on the top, I'm going to write pink on the left and white on the right. And I'm going to put an equal sign after my first letter. That's how I kind of write my equations. The next one is the 1/3. So 1/3 and my equal sign in front of it. And that relates, let's see, white to black. So this is white is 1/3 of black. And then I can take these two and kind of rewrite them. So I have P equals 2 over 1 is just 2W. And W is equal to 1/3 B. Okay, I'm going to keep that for now. Then I'm going to go to my last statement here. So there were 12 more black chips than pink chips. Okay, so I got to think this one through for a second. So 12 more black than pink. So black is bigger, right? So I want black to be bigger. So I want black to be equal to pink plus some number of chips. So that way it'll be bigger. So I want 12 more. So I'm going to add 12 to pink. Okay. Now, the other way that you can think of this, actually, we're not going to do that. Let's stick with this. So we've got black equals pink plus 12. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to substitute until we get down to one variable. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one right here, and I'm going to replace the P. That's going to give me B equals. And now instead of writing P, I'm going to write the 2W plus 12. Okay. All right. Well, that got me different letters, but not down to one. I have both the B and the W left. So let me try this one. So next, take this one and plug it in for the W. So that's going to give me B equals, the 2 is still there. And now W is 1/3 times B. And I'm multiplying all three of these things, plus 12. And so that's going to give me B equals 2 over 3 times B plus 12, right? Because we multiply across the top. So you're multiplying 2 over 1 and 1 over 3. Okay, and then we can go ahead and solve this. Okay, now my first step in solving likely here is going to be to clear my denominators. I prefer to clear denominators. If you like to work with fractions, then go ahead and combine your b's together. But I'm going to get rid of this 3 right here. When I have a 3 in the denominator, I can get rid of that by multiplying everything times 3. So I'm going to distribute that to all 3 terms. So 3 times the first one is going to give me 3b. When I multiply it times here, the 3 is going to cancel. The 3 on the top and the 3 on the bottom cancel, which is what I want. And when they go away, I'm left with just 2b. And then lastly, the 3 times the 12. 3 times 12 gives me 36. From here, now I've got all whole numbers, and I can go ahead and subtract the 2b to the other side. And that's going to leave me with 3b minus 2b is just 1b. And over here I have 36. So now we have that b equals 36. Okay. Then I can take that b and work my way backwards. So now I bring that guy back up here, and I have w equals 1/3 of b. And now we know that b is 36. Now, if I take 1/3 of 36, I'm taking 1/3 times 36, and that's going to give me w equals 12. Okay, that's going to be my second one. And then that one I can take all the way over here and plug it in. We have P equals 2 times W, so that's going to give me 2 times 12 because W is 12. And that will give me P equals 24. So that means I have 24 pink, 12 white, and 36 blue. And then you can check, do I have 12 more black than pink? Sure do. Do I have twice as many pink as white? Sure do. And do I have 1/3 as many white as black? Yes, 1/3 of 36 is 12. Okay. All right, let's look at a couple more. So Ashton ate 1/5 as much ice cream as Dante, twice as much as Kaysen. If Dante paid $10 for his ice cream, how much did Ashton and Kaysen pay? All right, so again, I'm just going to use capital letters, their first letters, D, A, and K here as my variables. So I'm not even going to write that down for you. We can, absolutely, I like it when you write down your variables, but you don't have to in this case because it's going to be obvious what's D, A, and K. Okay, so again, we're going to jump into those ratios. So I've got a 1/5, and that is Ashton to Dante, and my equals goes after the first letter. And then I have a twice. So Ashton ate 1/5 as much ice cream as Dante and twice as much as Kaysen. So that's referring back to Ashton. And that's twice. So 2 to 1 are just 2 and Kaysen. Okay. Then the comment here is that Dante paid $10. So Dante equals $10. And really, I can then just work my way back. So let's see. If I say Dante equals $10, I can bring that back here and say then that Ashton is 1/5 of that $10. And 1/5 times 10 gives me $2 for Ashton. And I got my $10 over here for Dante, if I'm finding all three. And then I can bring this $2 over here and plug in my 2 for my A. So I'll have 2 equals 2 times K. And then in order to get K by itself, I have to divide both sides by 2. And that'll give me K equals $1. So sometimes they can be significantly easier. Okay. With our boxes, we would have set up Dante's boxes and then kind of figured it out from there. Right? In this case, they give us Dante so we can kind of work our way back algebraically. All right, number 2, there were 2/3 as many Twizzlers as Skittles in the candy bowl. There's 1/4 as many Skittles as Twix bars. If there are 27 more Twix than Skittles, how many Twizzlers are in the candy bowl? Okay, so I'm going to use, Twizzlers. Here's my little cheat sheet. So Twizzlers, I'm going to call Z, right? Two of these start with T. And Twix, I'm going to call my X. And Skittles is going to be my S. Okay, so I'm picking out that 2/3. And that's Twizzlers, which is my Z, so I put that on the left. Skittles, which is my S, on the right, and the equal sign goes before my ratio. Okay, so Z is 2/3 S. Next, there are 1/4 as many Skittles as Twix. So Skittles in the front, Twix is my X in the back, equal sign before the ratio. Okay. Then we jump into the number. There are 27 more Twix than Skittles. Okay, so let's think this one through again. 27 more Twix than Skittles. So I have more Twix than I have Skittles. So I'm going to have Twix, which is X, equals Skittles plus some number. And how many more? I have 27 more. Then I can go ahead and work through what I've got. So I can replace my S. And let me move this around a little bit and put it over here. So I can use this one and put it in right here for my S. And that's going to give me X equals 1/4 X plus 27. So I've put my equations together so that I only have one variable. Now I'm going to clear my fractions because I don't want to deal with fractions. Right now my 4 is in the denominator and I want to get rid of it. So let's multiply everything by 4. I'm going to multiply to all 3 places. So 4 times the X is going to give me 4X. For the middle one, 4 times 1/4 is just 1, right? The whole idea there is that it cancels, and I just get 1X left. And then 4 times 27 is, I'm going to check this, but I think it's 108. Let me check. 27 times 4 is 108, yeah. So plus 108, okay? All right, now I got rid of my denominators. Now I can combine my 2 variables together. So I'm going to subtract my X from both sides. That's going to give me 3X on the left and a 108 on the right. And next I'm going to divide by 3 to get my answer for X. So if I take 108 by 3, that's going to, X is then 36. Okay. Okay, now that gets me my X. Now I've got 2 options to find S. I can go back to this one, with addition, or this one with multiplication. I think the addition one's easier, so I'm going to go to that one. So I'm going to start with x equals s plus 27, and my x is 36. And then I'm just going to subtract 27 from both sides. And that'll give me that s is equal to 9. Okay. And then I can take my 9 over here and plug it in for the s. So I have z equals 2/3, and instead of s, we're going with 9. So 2/3 of 9, the 3's cancel. We do one of these guys. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 2 times 3 gives me 6. And the question asks me how many Twizzlers are in the candy bowl. That's my z. And so that's the 6 that we're looking for there. All right, at Sunday's Super Bowl party. Oh, actually, I think this one's in the other video. So I think we're going to call it here. But let me check on that super duper quick before I end the video. Yeah, this one's in the last video, so we're going to cut that off there.